In the serene village of Mbube lived a couple named Ebuka and Sarah. They had been together for many years. Everyone who knew them could see that they loved and respected each other. Despite their genuine bond, envy and disdain brewed among the man's family and neighbors due to their steadfast love. Whispers of jealousy filled the air as Ebuka and Sarah's love shone brighter with each passing day. His family and neighbors, unable to comprehend such devotion, they felt angry at the couple. But Ebuka and Sarah remained unfazed, their bond unbreakable amidst the storm of negativity. Despite the challenges they faced, Ebuka and Sarah's love stood strong, a beacon of hope in a world clouded by bitterness. They survived every storm together, their commitment unwavering even in the face of adversity. Tragedy struck Mbube village when Ebuka fell gravely ill, his once vibrant spirit made weaker by the merciless grip of sickness. Sarah cared for him day and night, her unwavering love the only comfort in his time of need. Despite her efforts, Ebuka's condition worsened, casting a shadow of despair over the village. Despite Sarah's tireless efforts and the village healer's ministrations, Ebuka succumbed to his illness, leaving behind a void that could never be filled. The family and the villagers mourned the loss of a beloved son and friend, while Sarah's grief knew no bounds as she bid farewell to her soulmate. In the midst of mourning, Ebuka's family turned against Sarah, their grief turned into anger and blame. They started to accuse Sarah to set the truth what happened to their brother, and they started to circulate the news that Sarah killed their brother with no evidence to support their accusations. They sought justice from the king, accusing Sarah of foul play in Ebuka's untimely demise. Driven by anger due to the emotional crying and the words of Ebuka's family, the king condemned Sarah without a fair trial, banishing her from the kingdom and to be thrown into the evil forest. Sarah cried with an heavy heart, begging the king for his mercy. "I am innocent. I am innocent," she cried, calling her dear husband to come back so that this sorrow will end. Some of the villagers felt pity for her but cannot do anything to save her. The king have made a decree and sentencing her to a fate worse than death. His decision echoed through the village, casting a pall of fear and uncertainty over its inhabitants. With heavy hearts and tear-filled eyes, the king's guards dragged Sarah through the village, their faces masked by indifference to her pleas for mercy. As they ventured deeper into the forbidden forest, Sarah's cries echoed through the trees, her fate sealed by the king's decree. Alone and defenseless in the heart of the evil forest, Sarah's despair reached its peak as she stumbled upon a demonic witch, her eyes gleaming with hunger and malice. With nowhere to run, Sarah braced herself for the inevitable as the witch caged her and tied her hands and legs with rope, took her to her place and set the fire burning as she was preparing the ingredients that would be used to cook Sarah's meat. In a twist of fate, another witch emerged from the shadows, her presence disrupting the demonic witch's evil intentions. A fierce battle ensued between the two witches, their powers clashing among the darkness as they vied for the ultimate prize, Sarah's life. As the witches fought for supremacy, Sarah seized the opportunity to free herself from her bonds. Her excitement fueled her escape, revealing her strength against challenges. With all her might, she ran deeper into the forest, determined to outrun her pursuers and find safety. Tired and lost, Sarah found a simple house in the trees. Its cozy light gave her hope in the empty forest. To her surprise, she was greeted by a kindly old witch who offered her refuge from the darkness that threatened to consume her. Meanwhile, in the village, Ebuka's family were rejoicing and partying that they have finally driven away the witch that killed their brother, and by now the spirits in the evil forest would have killed her. Under the old witch's care, Sarah found comfort and healing, even though she cries day and night because of her dead husband. Her wounds, both physical and emotional, slowly beginning to mend. With each passing day, she learned to trust again, her faith in humanity restored by the kindness of her unexpected savior. As Sarah found sanctuary in the forest, the gods looked down upon the village of Mbube with righteous fury, their wrath kindled by the injustice inflicted upon their innocent daughter. In their anger, they unleashed a curse upon the village, its effects spreading like wildfire through the hearts and minds of its inhabitants. With each passing day, the curse wrought havoc upon Mbube, its once thriving community now plagued by misfortune and despair. Crops withered in the fields, livestock fell ill, and sickness swept through the village like a merciless tide, leaving devastation in its wake. In the midst of their suffering, the king and the villagers remembered Sarah, the woman they had cast out into the darkness of the forest. Guilt gnawed at their hearts as they realized the extent of their folly, their actions condemning them to a fate far worse than they had ever imagined. Driven by remorse and the desperate hope of redemption, the king dispatched 10 of his most trusted guards to scour the forest in search of Sarah, their mission a last-ditch effort to atone for the sins of the past. With each step they took, they prayed for a miracle, knowing that only Sarah could lift the curse that threatened to consume their village. After days of searching, only 3 of the king's guards came out of the forest. They looked tired and worried, but they were happy. They found Sarah, safe and sound. She gave them hope in the dark times the village was facing. In a moment of profound humility, the king and his subjects knelt before Sarah, their heads bowed in shame as they begged her forgiveness for the injustices they had inflicted upon her. And with a heart full of compassion, Sarah granted them absolution, her forgiveness a testament to the power of love and mercy to heal even the deepest wounds. With Sarah's forgiveness, they crowned her the queen of the village. The curse that had befallen Mbube was lifted, its dark shadow fading like morning mist beneath the sun's gentle rays. In its place, a new era of peace and prosperity dawned upon the village, its inhabitants united by a bond stronger than any curse could ever hope to break.